Two powerful lights soar into the air as a tribute to lives lost on 9/11. But look closer. There's an image atop the lights. The photo is now a worldwide sensation. Is this a trick of the light? Jesus? An angel? A cross? Beautiful. Amazing.
For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect.
I know this isn't real.
Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
I know this isn't real.
We're joined by an incredible group of leaders on the absolute cutting edge of innovation, including many CEOs from the world's most successful businesses.
Yeah, but you know, EG&G, one of the plants is on the edge of the Area 51. They're the ones manufacturing the implants that you're taking out of these abduction victims. You don't need an RF frequency plant chip to track anybody. They're not coming from outer space. They don't need that. If you're interstellar, you're transdimensional, because their technologies are way beyond that. I said, this is human.
Project Bluebeam at one time or another. Now, for those of you that don't know what Project Bluebeam is, it is a military project working with the hidden hand, the dark government, the deep state, the elites, whatever you want to call them, where they will use holographic projectors along with voice-to-skull technology.
When you're so tied into these technologies, you're not really seeing what's going on in the real world. All the things that are going on today, like surveillance, hacking of phones.
The intelligence community, what I discovered was amazing. There has been a plan in existence since about 1917 to create an artificial extraterrestrial threat to this Earth in order to create a one-world totalitarian socialist government.
Of Project Bluebeam. Project Bluebeam is a top-secret operation of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA for short, of the United States of America. Project Bluebeam is divided into 4 steps.
A man that I worked with before his death had developed an electronic system in 1956 that would enable someone electronically to remote view anywhere.
This was taken right up the road from me in Maine, the state of Maine. And it's an incredible rectangular moon. This right here appears to be a fake moonrise going horribly wrong. That is not a round rock in the sky.
And just monitoring it through your laptop, all of this kind of thing. One of the big problems is that the vast majority of the population aren't complaining about it. They just get on with their lives.
Nevertheless, An effective political substitute for war would require alternate enemies, some of which might seem equally far-fetched in the context of the current war system. It may be, for instance, that gross pollution of the environment can eventually replace the possibility of mass destruction by nuclear weapons as the principal substitute for war.
I'll come outside to look at this because it looks like a sun ray at sunset. The sun's already set, so I'm thinking it's just an unusual sun ray.
And they were developed decades ago. Now, how hard is it to deploy them? Not hard. They're not used every day. They're used enough to create a groundswell of conviction that there's an alien threat. So you take that capability, combine it with man-made UFOs, combine it with disinformation in general about the subject, and also certain chemicals, and you can launch an entire...
For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chamber, believe it not. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the
Step 1. The first step in the NASA Bluebeam project concerns the breakdown of all archaeological knowledge. We will see more and more hoax discoveries, where these new discoveries will finally explain to all people the error of all fundamental religious doctrines. The falsification of this information will be used to make all nations believe that the religious doctrines have been misunderstood for centuries.
That is not a normal, I mean, what is that? The top of a mushroom? You know what I'm saying? It simply looks like a glitch in the matrix. Project Bluebeam isn't working properly.
Holograms on a battlefield would be to divert the attention of the enemy, to deliver propaganda or
contagion of fear that's based on completely man-made false events.
Advanced technologies, you know, and all these talks about microchips. The military started doing a lot of research into sort of implanting chips in troops, and also, you know, sort of even like cyborg technology, you know, integrated into the troops as well.
Poisoning of the air and of the principal sources of food and water supply is already well advanced, and at first glance would seem promising in this respect. It constitutes a threat that can be dealt with only through social organization and political power.
Step 2. The second step is about creating a gigantic space light show with 3D holograms and sounds, laser projections of multiple holographic images. You'd think holograms are science fiction. Just Google 3D hologram on YouTube.
The UFO phenomenon, it has all the earmarks of the most successful, most sophisticated mind control operation in the history of the world, and you are ignoring it.
Step 3. The third step is a telepathic electronic two-way communication with extra low frequency, very low frequency, powerful waves which are able to reach everyone on Earth. Using H8ARP wave technology, ELF-H8ARP waves can be directly projected into the brain, causing the brain to receive messages.
something very frightening to make the enemy run away, if you think that he will believe that what you're sending is really an angel, a devil, a UFO.
That very well possibly there's going to be an alien invasion. And the government knows it.
Right.
And consequently they are trying to prepare the people.
Create the possibility in the minds of the people of the world that we are being threatened from some other species, from some other planet, and do it in a way that if anybody questions it or challenged it or wants to talk about it publicly, that they are ridiculed.
They wanted to see how the people will react if the people really thought that there was an alien invasion from another world. It was called War of the World.
Step 4. Electronic universal supernatural manifestation designed to deceive will create the following illusion. Make mankind believe an alien invasion is imminent. How are they going to project the images on the sky? Well, if this is your question, then you have to get back to step 2, and research on 3D holograms.
Now, Manus's theory surrounding Project Bluebeam paints a pretty unsavory picture of a world that no one wants to be a part of, and most people would not even dare to imagine. And all this is really hard to believe. But those who choose to believe that there is some truth in Manus's allegations about NASA, the UN, and the Bluebeam project have raised several evidences to support their claim. First is the suspicious death of the proponents researching about Project Bluebeam, as Manus and an unnamed journalist working on the same theory died of heart attacks within weeks of each other. Neither one of them purportedly had a history of heart disease in their family, and it is believed that they were actually assassinated. Recent unusual events have also been raised by these believers as proof that Project Bluebeam does exist. For example, in June of 2017, around 2,000 people in different parts of the US reported witnessing unusual bright and colored lights appearing in the night sky. They looked a lot like UFOs hovering over our planet as if they were about to invade. In the end, NASA claimed the responsibility for the event, as the multicolored artificial clouds in the sky were supposedly produced by the agency's Malamute-sounding rocket. Most people thought nothing more of the luminescent clouds they saw after NASA called it an early Independence Day fireworks display. A few, however, insist that the space agency was testing technologies that could be used to instill fear among the public. And as for those who regard Project Bluebeam as nothing more than a hoax, they claim that the actual source of the theory can be found in an unmade Star Trek film script. The plot of this story involved a spaceship floating in the sky which sent down beings that resembled religious prophets like Jesus Christ. The idea did not take off in the 1970s, but it was eventually reworked as a plot for an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation in the 1990s.
Thank you for watching False Camera Action. Before you go anywhere, don't forget to click subscribe.